man.
Man, oh man, it's gonna be emotional one. It's gonna be emotional one. Ah, yeah, free throws, man, free throws. Mm. All right, Twitter's already got hella people watching.
Yeah.
Last show of the year, last show of the year. Hold on, let me tweet this. All right, we're gonna address all that. Like, come on, man, come on. I know y'all angry. Y'all can definitely be angry, voice your frustration, but we gotta be real too. Man, I'm not even in the mood to do any no intro, man. No, no intro, no intro. This man. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, Russ, back on mute when you're not talking, man.
Yeah, you good, bro. But I mean, we can start it. We can start it off. We can start it off. I mean, obviously, tough game, tough loss. Um, I mean, before I go to you, Ryan, I'll just say this is definitely like I tweeted. I'm proud of the guys. I really am. I'm proud of this team. That game they played today was a hell of a game. It was a classic. Obviously, free throws will haunt us for the next 10 years, for forever, as long as we live as Duke fans. But I mean, it's tough because this team will be known for two games this season, and both against Carolina. So it's tough.
Yeah, and I think you said, I mean, right there, that's it, man. This team had a great run. I mean, a Final Four run in Coach K's last season. If you would have told us that at the beginning of the season, we would have said, man, that's a great way to go out. Final Four run, come up a little short, but still a great run. And it just happens that the two biggest losses of the season come to Carolina. Um, Both in games that, I mean, the one at home, Duke had it close before the last couple minutes, and in this game, Duke was in the lead with a minute and a half to go, and we're not going to blame free throw. I'm not going to blame Mark for missing free throws, but you miss a couple of free throws, and then Caleb Love hits a 3-pointer, and I mean, it just sucks. And we all as fans can sit here and say like, "Oh, this sucks," and like I feel numb. Like I definitely do. This sucks as a Duke fan for like the next literally the rest of our lives. Like this is going to come up with people that we talk to and UNC fans we interact with. But like the players, man. I mean, Keels. I saw a tweet from Norlander that Keels was waiting at the end of the bench, just completely sobbing, hugging Coach K. Like these guys feel it way more than anything you could ever even imagine. You don't think these guys wanted to win this game and this tournament for Coach K to send them out? It sucks. The whole game was just everything unlike what they played this entire tournament. Like you go back to the Michigan State game, the Texas Tech game, Arkansas, like everything got completely thrown out of whack when Mark Williams didn't play that the 15 minutes of the first half, and then you get in the second half and AJ's not hitting shots, Dell's not hitting shots, like things just went all asort, and Keels comes in and is making shots. So like the opposite of what has happened all tournament happens in this game, and we can get into X's and O's if we want, but that's just yeah, a classic where we end up on the wrong side of it is the
Russ,
best way
go
to
ahead.
put it.
I know Russ got a big. Go off, man. I saw the tweet. The F you to everybody. Go ahead, man. Go
I mean,
off.
this is why you don't choose to flip the coin, man. I mean, like this is why. Like everyone who was in my mentions going like, we want it to be Carolina. It's got to be Carolina. No, dude, it doesn't though. Because like at the end of the day, yeah, gonna blame Mark for a free throw, right? We're not gonna blame Trevor for a free throw. None of those individual things happen, but any individual thing changes the game. If Mark makes free throws, changes the game. If we get one offensive rebound or one defensive rebound on a possession, it changes the game. If one call goes slightly differently by the refs, it changes the game. So when you're playing a coin flip game, every tiny thing affects your ability to win. And so when that coin flip game comes against your rival on a huge stage, where if the coin comes up tails, you're going to hear about it for the rest of your life. Like, you just don't want that. Like, the people who wanted that, I maintain, are absolutely sociopaths. Like, so we just came up on the wrong side of the coin. You could nitpick things, I suppose. I mean, really, honestly, it came down to a couple of things that we've talked about literally all year, right? We can't overcome when we have, out of Jeremy, Trevor, AJ, and Dell, if we only have one of them playing a good game, we can't overcome that. Like, that's a really hard thing to overcome. And we almost overcame it. We almost overcame it and still won with that happening, which tells you something. And then obviously, settling for 3-pointers at times, another thing we've talked about throughout the season. Yeah, I mean, you've got to give them props for making hard shots. I guarantee if we look at the shot quality numbers after this, that we took better quality shots than they did. I'd be very surprised
for sure
if the numbers don't come out that way. But if you don't make the quality shots and they do, again, that's what happens when you flip the coin. Sometimes you miss the quality shots, they make the harder shots. And, they're playing with absurd confidence right now. I think that goes without saying. And I firmly believe, as depressing as it is, I firmly believe they're going to beat Kansas on Monday. And so this is a really tough situation to be in as a Duke fan, obviously. Yeah, don't choose to flip the coin. Next time we're in this situation where we're staring down the barrel of the gun and the coin flip could happen, remember this next time, because there might be a next time. You never know. And remember this.
It's tough. It's tough because I saw where it was going at the end of the game. I knew it was going to come down to free throw. In my head, I was like, I know it's going to come down to free throws.
We've been shooting free throws well during the tournament, too. We've been shooting really well. I felt pretty good when it was coming down to free throws. Like, I felt pretty good about it. But
I didn't, because I've seen, number one, Trevor's free throw wasn't as costly as Mark's, obviously. But Trevor does miss them down the stretch. But he played a great game. I'm not blaming Trevor for everything. Like Gavin said, Trevor played a hell of a game. That was Kentucky Keels tonight. But it's hard. It's when it comes down to free throws, you just know it's gonna be heartbreak.
The one thing that's, and like I am gonna be that fan, but like that phantom call on Roach on Davis when there was so much separation between the two of them, and they call the foul and Davis goes to the line and hits 2. Like, that's a game changer when you're up 3. Like, I'm pretty sure we were up 3 at that point, and the refs were questionable on both sides all night. But like that call with, like, it was just about a minute to go, and you're calling Roach for nothing, and RJ goes to the line, hits 2, and keeps them within the game. Like, Duke gets a stop there and goes on and hits a bucket. The game's completely in Duke's control. Like, it flips the script completely. But they go to line, hit 2, and like you said, coin flip, Russ. They call foul there, and Duke is basically is back with their back against the wall. And so, like, just with the start of the game, the way it was, I'm not blaming the refs for the result of the game. I'm blaming the refs for the tempo and the structure of the game. Mark had no business being out for 15 minutes in the first half. Like, Baycott had no. I mean, I still don't think Baycott had 5 legitimate fouls that he should have been out of the game. It's just tough for a big game like that and a big spotlight to be put under the microscope by the referees. And UNC won it fair and square. Like they won the coin flip. They made big shots. Manick hit a bunch of contested shots. Caleb Love hit some crazy shots at the end of the game, like completely on UNC for winning this game. I hate that the game got out of what seemed like the players' control for a decent amount of time in this game. And that part bugs me.
But honestly, Ryan, it wasn't even the first half because we were up at the half. I know we could have extended it maybe if Mark had kept playing or whatever. Like, I know there's an argument to be made for that. But like, we were up. We got the third foul on Baycott right at the beginning of the second half. Things were going our way. Like, I don't even think it was the Mark sitting that was the problem. The problem was in the second half, they made very hard contested shots. We didn't. End of story. I mean, like, we missed easy shots. AJ missed easy shots. Dell missed shots he's been making all year. Caleb Love and RJ Davis and Brady Manick made shots with hands in their face. So what are you going to do in that situation other than shrug your shoulders and say to the gods, fuck you for changing the coin to the other side today? I mean,
I don't want to make it sound like I'm blaming refs. It's just the structure and the flow of the game was unlike something that we've had to put up against for this tournament at least. And so like that part sucked as a fan. Like that part, the flow of the game wasn't traditional Duke flow. And whether you can credit UNC and the rest for that sucked.
UNC hit tough. They hit a lot of tough shots, man. Caleb,
like
he went crazy. That's what I told. That's what I was saying even before the game. I said the X factor is Caleb Love. If Caleb Love goes insane like he did against UCLA, we are very much in trouble. And I don't think it's not even on Coach K. It's not on the players. Like, this kid was hitting shots that aren't good shots. They weren't good shots.
Yeah, it's some Johnny Juzang shit. It's like what happened last year with UCLA, where Johnny Juzang was taking some bad shots. But if you're making them all, then they're not bad shots anymore. Like, now they're good shots because who knows anymore? Like, yeah, I tweeted something similar before the game, Zion, where I was like, we need erratic Caleb Love and erratic RJ Davis. Now, erratic Caleb Love showed up first half. He was not good in the first half at all. And RJ Davis was very good in the first half. He was on some Shabazz Napier shit right at the beginning. Just unbelievable. And then in the second half, when RJ cooled off because of the foul trouble, Caleb found it. Caleb got going. Like, you just can't let these guards in particular find that level of confidence. You just can't. And again, that's why I think they're going to win Monday. Like, I don't know that Kansas has guys that go super Scion like that. Like, and they've got a body that can face up with David McCormick. And whenever David McCormick doesn't play well, Kansas loses. Like, I think they've got some. I think with Baycott, they've got somebody who can body with McCormick. I mean, maybe foul trouble goes against UNC and then Kansas wins. That's totally a possibility. But
UNC and Kansas at this point, man, we sulky.
I mean, there's a chance that I don't even.
Villanova played 5 guys tonight that were less athletic than every single player on the Kansas team, and they got it to a 2-possession game with 5 minutes left. I mean, like, I know that Kansas was up really big at the beginning. I wasn't that impressed with Kansas, frankly, in that game. I know it's impressive because it's Villanova, and so like Villanova had 5 guys, dude, and no future pros, zero pros on that roster.
So here's my talking point for the two of you, and a question I guess we can ask people hanging out with us. Like, what does this mean to the rivalry? Like,
we are cooked. We are
we're cooked.
Like,
for the next 20 years, bro. 20 years.
Okay, like, but like, part of me wants to like play devil's advocate and say, okay, let's say with the Shire Davis era, it's not going to be Duke sweeps them every year, but let's say they lay an egg, something happens, and Duke comes out the next. If
Shire can win 2 before Davis wins his first one, then at least we can be like, hey, we won the last 2. Sure, live in the past, right? Like, then you can say something like that. But that's a huge. I'm sorry, I keep swearing. Shout out to Tick Pick. I'm not trying to swear so much. I'm emotional right now. If we win 2 before they win their next one, but like I said, I think they're going to win Monday. And so then Davis has one before Shire even takes the floor. You know what I mean? Like, that's some bad. That's the worst part about this, Zion and Ryan. That's the worst thing. We had a chance. Forget like the game and consequences just for the rivalry for just us or whatever. We also had a chance to prevent them from getting another ring. We had that chance tonight, and we blew it. And that hurts more than anything else, frankly.
Yeah, if I see Carolina holding up a championship, if Kansas wins, it'll take a little bit away, but like
little sting, maybe
a little sting, but like at the same time too, like we cannot talk. Like, even if
can't talk
the next 3 years, we cannot
more, dude.
What sucks is like, and this is so obvious, but like they had the game in Cameron. Like, we gave that to them. Okay, great, you have that. And then you go to the Final Four and you not give them, but like I get it. I'm not blaming our guys, man. Like I'm not gonna like I don't want to like pinpoint like
They're
you know
they're
what I'm
gonna make
saying.
shirts. They're gonna make shirts. They're
Yeah,
gonna make shirts for
you know what
this.
I'm
They're gonna
saying.
make
I'm not trying to like
banners for this.
I'm not trying to call out our 18 to 21-year-olds on this team. Like I'm not going to do that. But what I'm saying is like then we give them this game as far as the fans go, and like man, like it's just like if you at the beginning of the season last September, or let's say last June or July when Kay announced that he was retiring, if you could have mapped out a best case scenario and a worst case scenario, I think we nailed worst case scenario for Duke this season.
This is the absolute worst.
Like, would you hypothetical, Duke doesn't make the tournament this year. Is that worse than this? Like, I think it is.
No, that's
right?
worse. Well, that's worse. But
true.
But I think it's a real question asking, would it have been better to lose the last round?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a question. I'm not sure what my answer would be, but it's a very, very real question. Because if Arkansas fans hold something over us, I don't give a shit about Arkansas. Nobody cares about Arkansas, dude. Like, so fine. But the problem is, even if that had happened, UNC's still making the Final Four. So, like, the problem isn't even where our end result is. The problem is where UNC's end result is. Because if they make it further, like if UNC loses to Marquette or UCLA or Baylor or whatever, then like none of this matters at all. Like none of this matters. We're probably playing for a title game. You know what I mean? It's just it's brutal, man. It's just a brutal business when you flip the coin, dude. Brutal business. That's what Harvey Dent did. Two-Face, Batman. He was putting people's lives on the line at the flip of a coin, man. And that's what happened tonight, and we came up wrong.
But back to this game though, I definitely want to shout out. I don't even know the numbers. I don't even know the stats. I really don't. Paolo, you played your ass off, brother.
Man.
I respect you so much. Like
he had 20 and 10, man. He had 20 and 10.
There's a real chance he's the first overall pick. I think that I think it'll depend on what team is there and what they want. I think there's a much realer chance after the tournament than there was after the ACC tournament, for instance. I've been very, very impressed with how he's played. I also wouldn't be surprised if he makes the all tournament team or whatever.
No, he will. But even that, like, I think for me now, I got to put him in my top 3 freshmen all time, because maybe I'm slotting him at number 2, because like what he did this tournament is definitely
absolutely. And big shout out, obviously Trevor Keel has played his ass off. AJ couldn't hit the ocean sitting in a boat, which sucked. Like I feel like all Duke fans were just waiting for AJ to have his breakout moment in this tournament. And I'm not like, I love AJ, like going to be a great player for a long time in the NBA, but just couldn't have his moment that a lot of Duke fans were hoping for. And then
I think he ran out of gas. Like
yeah,
when you're hurt for so long in high school, like he was, and then you're hurt at the beginning of this year. I mean, we've seen guys who've had those long layoffs have those spurts, but it's a lot more up and down.
Yeah, and then Dell, like I want to give this guy so much props for the season he put together. For he won the Julius Erving Award. Like I'm so happy for him, and I don't want to come out here. Like he played great defensively. I think he did a really good job defensively, especially with
the 3.
And he did. But I will say, in the first half, he missed a lot of bunnies. Like
that three was a no yes
100%. And so like I that's why like I'm holding back. I'm not blaming Dell. Like it just sucks that like he had 10 points tonight, 8 rebounds. He could have had a 16 to 18 point night, but didn't because of the struggles in the first half, which sucked. He played great defensively. And
he was looking for fouls too much too. Like I thought there were a number of drives to the rim where he was trying to lean in, and then he got like sort of out of his rhythm. He's been so good at the rim for so much of the year. Like, I think he just got in his head thinking if we get Baycott out of here, if we get Manic out of here or whatever, and so he just kept leaning, and then just throwing off his equilibrium. I mean,
and then I got to give a little bit of flowers to Theo, although he picked up a couple ticky-tack fouls in the first half. He came
Theo
in.
Was great.
He came in and played great, man. Like that, he lived up to the moment. Like this was his Final Four moment, and he played great. Unfortunately, picked up 4 fouls, so couldn't come back in. And the real dagger, though, is Caleb Love went for 28, man. If
I knew that 3 was going in at the end.
100%. You knew
Well,
it.
of course you did.
And then when Brady
Yeah.
Manick hit that step back in the corner, like it's just like, ugh, you just want to throw up when you see that.
We just couldn't get a stop when we needed. Like we just needed consecutive stops. We were scoring fine.
Yeah. I mean, this is the bad thing about the small ball lineup. I mean, I think I talked about this here. I definitely talked about it on my podcast. Our most potent offensive lineup by far was the small ball lineup with Banchero at the 5. But our worst defensive lineup is by far the one with Banchero at the 5. So it's not a surprise to me that it became a you score, we score, you score, we score game. But like when they're making hard threes and we can't make threes at all, you can't do a you score, we score kind of game. Like we probably needed to go big again at some point in there, like at least try it, at least throw some different things in there. But like
put Mark back in the game for sure. I thought so.
It took too long, and then when we did it, it helped. I mean, like, you know, like it helped right away. We took a little lead there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you can second guess everything, but again, at the end of the day, one hard shot that they made that they normally would never make changes the game. And that's why you choose not to flip the coin.
A lot of people saying go zone. I saw all those tweets. Zone would not have helped us.
Go zone for what?
People who say go zone don't know basketball. Like, sorry,
they killed us.
People saying
they killed us shooting 3-pointers. They killed us rebounding the ball. Zone does the opposite of both. So zone was not going to do anything. Anybody who says that is just absolutely ridiculous.
People just sized because they saw it in Texas Tech and Arkansas, both teams that can't shoot the 3. They saw that it worked for spells there, and so they're like, "This is the magic. This is the magic that couldn't get us there." It's like, no, dude, but you still have to think about context of game. Like, come on, guys.
I told everybody that wanted to have a logical conversation about this weekend what I thought about it. My thought was we had great matchups before this game, and UNC was a terrifying matchup for Duke. And if UNC shoots the 3-ball well, Duke's going to be in trouble because Duke doesn't particularly defend the 3-ball well. Tonight, they made them take a lot of bad shots, and they hit a lot of tough shots. But like I said, I
thought they defended the 3 pretty well.
They did, and that's why I'm not going to sit here and give credit to Carolina, but like, fuck, man, that was.
He said just a question. It was just a question. Sorry.
I mean, hold on, Zion. Before you say that, hold on, Zion. I want to drop one number real quick that I dropped on my show. Since February 14th, since Valentine's Day, number 1 team in the country, according to Bart Torvik, in terms of efficiency, has been UNC. They are not an 8 seed. Like, they're just not. And that's a pretty big sample size, too. That's not some like, oh, it's only been 6 weeks or whatever. That's like 12, 13 games that's like a third of a season. And they've been the most efficient team in the country for a third of a season. So, I mean, like, they're not an 8 seed. We knew that's why everyone was like, oh, we're a 4-point favorite. It's like we're a 4-point favorite thinking about the entirety of the season. When we're thinking about Carolina over the last 10 to 11 games,
I was terrified.
They're like a 1 seed strength in terms of that, like just in terms of sheer efficiency over the last whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, Zion, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I was just telling Andre. Andre said he was just asking a question. He wasn't saying he wanted us to play zone. So sorry, Andre. We didn't mean to come at you.
Yeah, that wasn't at Andre. Yeah, sorry, man. It was just at people.
It was all the Twitter people. But I mean, a lot of people already asking it. So should we get into like next year who's coming back and whatnot?
Oh, like I don't want to, but
I
like
mean, we should.
What
else are we going to talk about?
I
Are
mean,
we going to keep talking about how much this sucks? No, let's talk about something else.
But like, here's the thing: is like normally we're doing this after like a Sweet 16 loss or an Elite 8 loss, and like or like not even making the tournament. Like last year, it's like I haven't done this after the Final Four, man. This sucks. Like I don't like. I mean, honestly, Duke fans, you just pray that John Shire talks to Trevor Keels tonight, and in the coming days, and says we got. I've heard both sides, and I get there's some reasons why he wouldn't come back, but otherwise,
Keels is gone, dude.
I know, but Keels like
he just dropped 18 on the biggest game,
and even if he had dropped 2, it wouldn't have mattered.
Hey,
he's gone. I think we know that he's gone.
I'm not telling you he's coming back. I'm telling you we want Shire to go after Keels. I'm not saying he's coming back. Keels is probably gone. What I'm saying is that we don't have a guy like Keels at the 2 guard next year, and I don't even. Why am I
think
I don't even want
Ryan,
to talk about.
Ryan,
I don't even want to talk about
Ryan,
next year, man.
I think we could have somebody like him at the 2 guard, and he would also be a senior and be a captain. In theory,
Wendell's not coming back.
You think there's a shot Dell comes back and I bring up Keels? Oh, come on, man.
Russ, before you get to that, let's all rule out. Mark is gone. Paolo is gone. AJ is gone.
Obvious.
Gone.
All three of them are gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate this so much.
I don't know some of the circumstances around. The only reason why I would even say that Dell would even have a sliver of a chance more than Keels to come back is twofold. One, in basically every mock draft, Trevor is higher than Dell. I mean, we would agree on that, right? Like that's pretty consensus at this point. Like I've not seen a mock draft where Dell is higher than Trevor. Dell is like viewed as being a very, very fringe first round guy, probably more realistically top of second guy, right? So if you take that, and also I don't know what the class situation is for Dell, but like if Dell's been attending his classes and continuing to move forward, then at least the door is open there in a way, I would think. But you're right that he's probably gone. Like, I understand that I'm just like trying to like talk my way into it. I understand he's probably gone. I think there would be a more reasonable chance that Dell would come back than Keels come back. I think Keels is a 100% gone. I'd be very shocked if he came back. I would love it. But yeah. I think he's gone.
And I'm gonna say this, like, to preface this, I absolutely 1000% despise talking about this conversation while we have guys in the locker room crying about this season. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming you two. No. I'm not blaming you two.
Have to do with us.
No, exactly. I'm not blaming you two. I'm just saying I hate that we have to do this after a Final Four loss. I'm just telling you, I am uncomfortable as shit right now talking about next season because, like, it's not going to make me feel any better. It's not going to make anybody feel any better. But regardless, I'll give.
I think it will. Hold on. I think that's not true. I think it'd be better to talk about next year than to just wallow in what happened this year.
Yeah, but like, okay, so I'm going to give Grant at Update Duke a shout out. 15 minutes ago, he literally was already tweeting out next year's roster potential. So I'm just going to use that as an example.
Yeah.
He tweets out Roach, Keel/transfer, Whitehead, Filipowski, Lively, transfer, Mitchell, Shoot, Blakes. Would you take that ? So we take out Keels out of that and we take out Moore. Transfer is the only other like, we don't have a 2 guard if Keels and Moore are gone next year.
We're going to be active. We're going to be active in the
I already promise you we have at least 1, if not 2 guys coming in next year from the transfer portal. I not going to be able to name who, but we have guys that are going to be coming in.
Insider Ryan.
Well, no, I'm not. We're not going there tonight. But I know we are in the market for at least 2 transfers. And if the shooting is what scares me the most, Derek can shoot it, Filipowski can shoot it, but when you need more guys, Derek's decent shooter, not amazing. Filipowski is the same. Like, we need a knockdown shooter at the 2, and I think tonight kind of shows it, right? Like, AJ's can we consider him a knockdown shooter? Probably, but in the biggest situation of his career, he couldn't do it. And so you come to this situation next year, we need a guy that can do it. And so
to be fair, that's true in every direction, right? Like, we could have, like, we saw JJ Redick miss big threes and lose tournament games, several years in a row. It doesn't really have anything to do with, do we have the guy? Like, whether like having a guy there that can shoot. We had AJ and Dell both shoot over 40% from 3 this year, and then neither of them could hit the broadside of a barn tonight. Like, and that's not really an indictment on their ability to shoot. It's just an indictment on their ability to shoot tonight at the end of the day.
They can shoot. They can definitely shoot.
But can he play next year is my question. Like, could he be the 2 on a Final Four team?
No, but I think he can
be tough.
I think it's gonna be tough because Duke is so. But it's Shire. It's not Coach K. If it was Coach K, I think he's in an ideal situation.
Yeah, I mean, hey, real quick, shout out John Shire era begins now. Like, it's his team. Did you already shout that out? All right, sorry, I'm shouting out again. My question:
why are we shouting that?
Did you see the report that he and Pat Sullivan had to be separated after the game?
Nah,
I don't even know who Pat Sullivan is.
I think he's a UNC guy, is he not?
he's a coach.
I think. Hold on. Let me peep this.
Okay,
tweet
hold
real
on.
quick.
Let me just look it up here. Pat.
I don't
I
know
don't
if
even.
but you know, I
Pat Sullivan and John Shire getting into it verbally on the court and had to be separated. And everybody's tweeting is, who is Pat Sullivan?
yeah,
He's
Pat Sullivan, bro?
He's a UNC alum.
Don't care.
Yeah, who cares? Okay, so here's my question. Here's my question for you then. Let's just say, all right, bye, Russ. Here's my question: is if let's just say we don't get a transfer, which I think we will, as far as the shooting transfer goes. Can you play Roach, Whitehead, Mitchell, Filipowski, Lively?
Mitchell is so tough because Mitchell shouldn't be our 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but can you get away with it if it has to come to that?
No. I don't think so.
No,
yeah,
especially I agree when you have Lively and Flip. Like we gotta be able to play small ball next year. Like, and we gotta be. I know we have a big front court coming in again, but like we gotta be able to have shooters. Duke needs shooters. We need to get away from straight front court dominant teams with no shooting. This year,
yeah, I mean, some of the problem is I do think that next year we're gonna have some discussions about defense next year for sure. Like I think that having Flip at the 4 is going to be something that's going to be very, very tough in the ACC when there are so many teams playing small ball who are going to try to just isolate him and drive on him. You know what I mean? And Lively is just not Mark defensively at this point from what we know. I think it'd be very shocking if he was. He's going to be awesome. I love Lively, but he's just not Mark, so we're going to have some defensive issues. So shooting is going to be very, very necessary because we're going to have to outscore teams again. It's just going to be one of those years.
Before I get into this quote real quick, Zion, anything you want to say to your boy Armando?
Congrats. I mean, I can't say nothing. I can't.
Coach, and the reason I bring that up is because Coach, I just scrolling through Twitter here, and Coach K went up to Armando before media availability and said, "I hope you're okay. You were my player of the year," according to Coach K.
Coach K is dope, man. Thank you.
That's why I feel so bad that it ended this way, man. Like,
Coach K went up to Baycott and said, "I saw what Zion said about you, and that was bullshit."
Yo, but Baycott, I expect this. I expect him to send me something, but I thought
he probably will in the next couple hours.
Yeah, I know he'd be the first one to message. But he I think we did a really good job on Baycott tonight. Other than rebounding, he struggled. He struggled this night.
Yeah, he did. All right, my one more talking point, and when I say talking point, this isn't me believing the stupid side of it. This is just like bringing up a point for people in the chat who roast me for bringing these up. Over under 10 years in the Shire era, and your complete heart and confidence.
Wow. Yikes.
I'm bringing it up. I want, and more so for the chat.
That's so tough, man. That's so tough.
I'm bringing up talking points, man. Over under 10 years in the Shire era.
I would say quickly, it does hurt that we have to go start from scratch after this. Work our way back to the Final Four. Like, this is going to be to get here was tough, but to repeat it,
it was.
It's going to be insane. But I'll say, I think Shire gets. He'll get 8 years. He'll get 5 years of grace period. So he's not really going to.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
After that, if it'll get dicey. Just depending on what he does.
I think five is generous depending upon how it gets.
I was gonna say
five is generous.
If shit really hits the fans are, dude. UK fans are ready to throw Calipari in the goddamn bushes. You think that Shire is immune to a crazy blue blood fan base if shit hits the fan 2 consecutive years? Nah, dude. I'm not saying he'd get canned. I don't think that would happen. And I don't think he should. I think they should take time. I think the people at UK are insane, right? I think that, and the people at UNC who wanted Hubert gone in January were obviously insane, right? So, people got to give these dudes some time, but there's also a practical reality at a blue blood where, let's say worst case, let's say he doesn't advance past the Sweet 16 in 5 seasons. I think it's there's going to be a lot of talks about it.
For the record, I'm going with over. I think Shire's a real deal. I love the hire. Like, I think as long as he can keep it going on the recruiting trail, you're going to have talent that's coming through the doors. I think majority of people are saying, well, it's a little bit of both, but it's going to be like you said, you bring in this first class this year, and I think that's what a lot of like the 2023 guys are thinking. Zion, you can insider Zion. What'd you just get?
Nah, I just saw someone say on Twitter, especially with Nolan as his assistant.
Yeah, we can drop that news whenever we want, but I don't know if you can expect Nolan on the staff next year. Anyways, when it comes to Shire's success, I think there's a little bit of like hesitancy, and I know we have Caleb Foster and Sean Stewart in the 2023 class, but like there's going to be some hesitancy with these recruits, with this number one recruiting class coming in with these guys. Like, all right, let's see what he does. Let's see what he can do with this talent and see where these guys end up at the end of the season and going into the draft and see if he's the real deal. And then they'll start coming in. If Duke can go next year to the Elite Eight of the Sweet 16 and Lively, Filipowski, and Whitehead go somewhere between the 1 and 7 range in the draft, like, okay, real deal. You get more recruits, you keep it going. But if shit falls off and hits the fan next year and Duke's like a 4, 5, 6 seed and they don't make it to the Sweet 16, like you're going to be getting recruits in the following years that are like, whoa, is that where I want to go?
This is another terrible thing about UNC winning this game is it's going to help them with recruiting. Like, because now it's like it's the Hubert regime, and he can sell. You already hear him talking about how he's like throwing some shade a little bit at the last few years. He's always like, the last few years UNC was irrelevant, and we need to get back. Like, he's already like sort of dropped that line several times. I've heard him talk about it, and like, yeah, UNC still doesn't have any all-stars, and yeah, like their social media game is complete ass. But like at the same time, if you win some big games, that always helps. It just does. Like. So, I mean, that just sucks also. I don't know what to think about Shire until it happens. I mean, like, as we've seen the last few seasons, the amount of talent matters less than the way that the talent fits. Like, it just does. I think that having a nice transfer come in, I mean, I haven't looked at it. I wanted to look at it. I'm going to look at it before the next episode of my podcast. If I had to guess, in the Sweet 16 this year, I would guess 13 of the 16 teams had a transfer in the starting lineup.
I mean, look at Miami.
I would guess 6 or 7 of the Elite 8 had transfers in the starting lineup. Obviously, Kansas and UNC both have big name transfers in the starting lineup. I mean, like we've got to get somebody in there, and obviously the transfers can blow up in your face. We saw Kentucky, we saw Texas. We've seen some of that stuff happen when you're too reliant on transfers. But if you just have a good combination of returning talent plus incoming talent plus transfers that have some experience under their belt, I mean, I think that's the recipe for success. And again, if Theo was huge for us tonight, he was huge. So like we're one coin flip away from being in the title game, and Theo would have been a huge part of that. So yeah, we've got to nail a big transfer next year, and we will. I mean, I know we will. It's not even a question. But
oh yeah.
I hate this conversation so much.
Yeah, I know. When he said we're a coin flip away from the championship, it's so accurate, but it's so, stop saying it, bro. It hurts. Like
I honestly I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna watch the game on Monday. Like I want to, but like I don't. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna probably end up watching, but like I don't. Like there's so much in my body that just says don't. Just go on a walk for 2 hours and don't even.
I'm gonna bet half a G on UNC money line.
You're not wrong, man.
UNC not winning, bro.
Well, then I'll lose half a G and I'll be happy about it. And then if they do win, I'll have doubled up and I'm gonna feel pretty good about it. But yeah, I got to do the emotional hedge on Monday, man. There's no question. The emotional hedge is coming.
We're getting. I mean, not to go ahead, Zion.
We're getting a kid named Ryan Lohman from Minnesota.
We're getting.
Oh God.
Well, hey, if it pans out the way it's supposed to, we're supposed to get a shooter. We'll just leave it at that.
I want to say this though, like when it comes to transfers, and a lot of schools have learned this, objects in the mirror are shinier than they appear sometimes. You know what I mean? Like especially these mid-major guys. like we have seen a good number of mid-major guys come up and be stars, right? And we've also seen a bunch of mid-major guys come up and completely do nothing. I mean, that UNC team that had Christian Keeling and the other guy, the white guy, I don't remember his name. But they had 2 of the best 5 mid-major transfers come in, and neither of them could play in the ACC at all. So like sometimes that just happens. I mean, like that's sort of the danger with transfers. It's like getting a 4-star recruit in some ways, right? Like sometimes the 4-star is going to be beastly, and sometimes he's going to suck.
Hunter.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hunter.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have much more to say. I got people here that I was watching the game with, so I want to bounce. I don't want to talk about this game. I don't want to talk about Duke basketball for a long time.
Man,
I mean, anything else you guys want to say, or like
one thing I want to say is definitely I appreciate everyone for tuning in this year, man. We really took this thing next level this year. Appreciate Pick for joining us. Next year, obviously, we're gonna be back. We'll do a lot of things this summer. Maybe Russ can become a permanent guy. It's up to him, really, if he wants to.
Hey, man, man. Hey, and I'm going to put this out there, and I haven't even talked to Russ or Z about this. I want to bring this show to – I actually talked to Zion about this a little bit. I want to bring this show live somewhere next year to, like, New York or Oregon or Indy. We got a few games. We got a game in New York with the Jimmy V Classic. We got the PK 88 or 80, whatever the hell they're calling it in Oregon. We got Indy for the Champions Classic. I want to bring this show somewhere next year, so – let's keep.
I'll definitely be. I'm going to be at the PK 85. I'll tell you that right now.
I bet you will, Mr. West Coast.
West Coast, best coast. Hashtag WCBC. You know.
Hey, I can't even talk about the PK. We talking about the PK 85.
No, dude. Don't even come there. I was one that didn't want to go down the next year's roster talk. I'm just saying. You were giving shout outs for the everybody for listening for this season. I'm just telling them that be on the lookout for talk about going to a live show next year because I want to take it there. That'd be fun. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it'll be in New York. But I definitely think, we were going to talk about the next year roster on Tuesday anyway, if we won, Monday. So,
but no, honestly, though, like, to back up what Zion said, though, I appreciate, everybody tuning in. We got over 300 people right now. Like, you guys have been the best. This is fun, man. You make it a little bit better. Yeah. So, thank you. And Ross, appreciate you joining all the time, man.
Oh, dude, it's my pleasure. It's really sinking in right now.
Dude, this sucks. That's why I'm trying to get out of here. I want to go play.
I know. Well, that's why I was continuing to talk. I was like, if I keep myself occupied, if my mouth is running, my mind's not thinking. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I got UNC fans hit my phone. I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Dude, me too. Right there. There it is. Right there. Do not disturb. Don't fucking talk to me, man. Get out of here.
I gotta get a ride home from the bar.
No,
yeah, good luck, man.
We
the bar ran out of juice. It happened.
We appreciate y'all, man. Like, shout out Blaze. I see you. Hell of a season. It was a hell of a season. It really was. We got to the Final Four. Like, that's what I wanted. But obviously, we had the most nightmarish ending, and it's a nightmare season because of those 2 games.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's a good team. It's a very good team. A very talented team. And, appreciate it, man. Yeah, appreciate the freshmen and Dell and all the guys. So, hopefully we'll be back soon. Maybe in the summer we might have Mark Williams on this summer.
So
we'll bring Mark on. We'll try to bring Mark on, maybe other guys. But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Great season. I'm hurt. No need to be on Twitter for the next week. So,
yeah.
I'm blocking like shit, dude. Anybody step into me will get blocked and forgotten. If you tweet at me, I never knew you existed, bro. You're gone.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.